Fucking Christ. Hello, everybody. I guess we're not losing the date. We got a bench trial, ladies and gentlemen. Bench trial, bench trial, bench trial. It's first time I got a bench trial in a long time. And, oh man, it's gonna be a while. What is this? What? No! Oh my god, what is this shit? Oh. Really? I couldn't fucking help myself, man. Alright. Fuck's sakes. Why is that just right there? Come on. Alright, that's my UC vehicle. Alright, anyway. Fuck you. Fucking gangsters, man. Alright. It doesn't have a plate on it, but I don't care. Anyway, hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I was planning just to play CSGO all night with a buddy, since he hasn't been here so long, but then I got called in for this horse shit. And since I'm one of the two judges, I feel very obligated to respond, you know? And I swear to God, if this is some horse shit, I am finding whoever's idea it was to bring this to court out the ass. We have a very specific system that allows me to do that, which is times 10 charges. Don't fuck me around. This better be for a good goddamn reason. I hope so, man. No, do not crash me right now. Fuck's sakes. I have keys for this fucking vehicle. Jesus Christ. And I'm armed to the teeth. I really need some keys. Did I get it beforehand? I should be able to. Awesome fire truck. Wait, I hope that ammonium nitrate isn't flammable. I hope that's not what they're responding to. Okay, I need to get some keys. Three.
I caught you going to Honker.
Dude, this car is so weird. It has this old engine thing where he just like stays and drags, and it's just weird. I took a very backwards route to get where I'm going. Hello.
How's it going?
Are they?
Judge?
Yes, I'm the judge.
Alright, 101's catching a flight right now, LSIA. LSIA, he'll be here in a minute.
All right. Great. Fantastic. Glad I'm not fashionably late.
Fashionably early, actually.
Fantastic. Alright, I need to look at specific things about wasting time, as Kenneth has given me reason to believe that that's what's happening. Ah, fuck. Okay. So, let me just go and check. Who's running around out there? Court. Bail guidelines, bail enhancements, court sentencing, death penalty. Great. Awesome. Fantastic. Amazing. Court sentencing. Oh, Jesus Christ. So class 1 felony is an offense dollar amount times 50. 20 years to life. Fuck me. Class felony 2 is... Oh man, it's all times 5. Damn. So to my knowledge, the way this stuff works, guys, is... So for class 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, if the court finds you guilty, which kind of in turn means that you get like a little bit shit on here, it's your offense times a 50 times multiplier. So I don't know what he's in here for, but let's say, for example, let's say it's a basic charge of... Let's just say class 6. So class 6 is $500 on average, right? Some are different, but class 6 is $500, right? So 500 times 50. That's 25 grand. Not that much, right? Not that much. The problem is that let's say it's a class 3, right? Class 3 is 3 grand, right? times 50 is 150 fucking grand. All right? Which is a lot of goddamn money. That's a lot of goddamn money. All right? And if it's class 1, you are looking to pay a whopping $375,000. Hello.
You ready?
Yes.
Alrighty, let's get this done.
Where's everybody?
What's that?
Where's everybody?
They're bringing them up right now.
Who's the prosecution?
I guess that 101 and I are going to be representing ourselves against him.
Okay, great.
So,
This should be fun and very loose.
Should be a good time.
Make sure you're shouting.
Oh.
It's gonna be very important. I feel like I'm waiting on them. Okay. Let's put this here, put this here. I think my shotgun's in there. Live court cases. Oh, shit. Dude, can I do it through this system? I don't know how this system works, but I kind of want to. Oh, man, it's so confusing. It's so confusing. I haven't learned it yet. Let's just do it by ear. Are you having some problems or what? We're not having a gallery or anything like that. You guys are the gallery. Judge wears a hat. The judge does what the fuck he wants, Steven. But you do make a good point.
George, can I ask something real quick?
Yeah.
Can I counter sue?
Let's deal with this first, but probably.
Sweet.
Can you get the defendant or plaintiff out of the cuffs, please? Unless he's a threat, I don't know what the fuck we're here for.
The only thing that might be
I mean, the guy is a freaking. I don't know. We'll trust him for now. If he does anything dumb.
I literally didn't even have a gun on me when you
I'm only
arrested
saying
me.
You had a
taser
knife.
once.
That's dangerous.
It's the kitchen.
Alright, defendants on the left, prosecutors on the right, please.
You just want to sit in the
Your left or our left?
My left. So you guys need to switch.
Oh, switch, Murphy.
Fuck,
Fuck out of the way.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck me up.
Hold on, I'm thinking about it.
What the fuck?
I didn't do shit.
Gentlemen, please.
You just want to sit.
Shut up, Steven. Alright, make sure that everyone's shouting, please, because I can barely hear you up here.
You got a bony
Yeah,
lap,
agreed. I can barely hear you too, Judge.
God damn it.
I
Can we get the? Can we get your megaphone to the judge, maybe?
Yeah, I gotcha.
101's gonna be operated for a bench trial.
What happened? I was supposed to be able to hear people. The
Hold
heck?
on. I don't know if I can give it to you from here. I'm gonna pass it over the top.
Is it something I can just actively hold?
It's a megaphone, yes. Think about, you know, pulling it out of your back. There you go.
Yeah, and then you flex your
This is awful. This is
flex your
horrible.
left finger and
Yeah, I got it. Alright, why don't we go ahead and start with the prosecution? Why the fuck are we here this late? It's almost my bedtime.
All right, Judge, apologize.
Now please approach the microphones.
Okay. Judge, I apologize for the late summoning here, but you know, crime never sleeps. All right.
Neither
We
do
are
I.
here-
Objection.
We are here because.
What are you objecting to?
That's a false statement.
Okay, move on.
False statement, but-
Continue. Fuck.
All right. We're here because Mr. Snow here was recently arrested for reckless driving and unlawful flight. And he is trying to fight those charges in this instance in a bench trial. If you'd like me to go through the report and the articulation of the scene, I'm more than happy to do
Yes.
that. But, all right.
I would actually like you to read it verbatim, please.
Sure. All right. So, my statement here is 101. Who's me? Chief Atkins, LSPD, Mullet Man. I was code 6ing, which means searching for a Veester vehicle that was seen fleeing the scene of a recent bank
Define
truck robbery.
Veester, please.
VSTR. It's like a Cadillac-looking four-door.
Thank you.
And a bolo, meaning be on the lookout, was posted in our plate readers, our radar, for a plate that comes back as Midget 69 because it was tagged on scene at the bank truck, and there was a short pursuit. Officers on scene lost that vehicle. A few minutes later, as I was searching around the south side because that was the direction of travel that it was last seen going, I ended up driving down the beginning of Grove Street where my plate reader read the bolo plate of the Veester in front of me. It was like just a little bit past the gas station on the little side street that goes on.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. Why was there a bolo for the Veester?
Because it was seen fleeing it was the one that was used in the fleeing of a bank truck robbery a few minutes prior, and it evaded police like about 10-15 minutes prior, and that plate was locked on that scene and during that chase.
And I'm assuming, and not to get ahead of you, but I'm assuming that's the defendant's vehicle, correct?
I'm not sure if it was his vehicle. He was just in the vehicle.
Okay.
So that
Who owned the vehicle? We have the plate. We should be able to run it, right?
Yeah. Well,
I believe that vehicle came back to Mr. Kevin Palmer.
We're not sure because it just comes back as Midget 69. So either way, that he's not being charged for the bank robbery. We weren't able to tie him to the bank robbery. It was just the vehicle. So I was going to initiate a traffic stop. However, since I was on Grove Street, as I approached the vehicle with my lights and sirens on, I was radioing for backup. As I was waiting for backup and getting myself into a better position, since the vehicle was kind of on my side, I kind of backed up just a little bit, like a couple of feet. And then Mr. Snow here was saying something from his vehicle, but I was actually trying to like radio for backup. So I wasn't addressing him yet because I didn't want to get shot because it's known gang territory and there's been a lot of shootings down there. So I was looking out for my safety first. So he pulled up to the side of my car and started asking why he was being pulled over, or something to that effect. That's when I ended up getting pulled out of my car from a local, and was immediately able to get back into my vehicle, lock the door so the local couldn't get me back out of the car again. So I moved my car backwards a few more feet to get into a better position because, again, I'm still very worried about getting shot. I was then yanked out of my car, so that was the local part. Jump back in, move my car to a better position. The Veester again was moving his car, trying to get closer to mine. That's when I, moved my car a couple of feet again. And that's when backup arrived, and his passenger was saying, get out of here, and then they fled the scene. And then an extensive chase throughout the city.
Hold up. Let me just make sure. So you're pretty sure that Mr. Palmer, I forgot his first name already, Mr. Palmer was driving that vehicle you were on a traffic stop with, and Mr. Snow was in the passenger seat, correct? Or is it vice versa?
No, I was the driver.
Snow was the driver. Kevin Palmer wasn't in the vehicle. It ended up being a DeMarcus Washington that was in the passenger seat of the vehicle.
Okay.
So, at that time, they, as backup arrived, and I was going to start, actually doing a traffic stop, if that's, now that I had backup, they drove away from the scene, and a very extensive chase broke out throughout the city. They slowed down near Pillbox for a few minutes and were talking about, like, you weren't talking to me. I didn't know that I needed to stop. This and this. I said, pull over right now so we can talk. They chose not to pull over. They continued fleeing. They ended up ditching the V-Star eventually, got into another vehicle, which it was like a purple vehicle, I believe. I can't remember exactly which one it is. We didn't end up getting that one into custody. That purple vehicle then was ditched by Grove Street, and then they got into a black shafter. So they swapped cars into the third vehicle, which is the black shafter. Chase continued until they ended up in that little off Popular Street by the canals on the north side of Popular Street, where there's that little side thing that you can go down where sometimes there's like a little dumpster down at the bottom of it that you can like back up and jump over into the canals.
Hold up again. How do you know that the defendant swap vehicles? Like, do you know specifically
we
what
were
he was
on
wearing?
them the whole time. Yeah, we're right
Okay.
there. They jumped out of the
Okay.
car, jumped into the next car, and then when they got to the third car, they both jumped out of the car, jumped into the third car. So we watched them do it each time. So they were down on north side of Popular Street, where they went down the little side alley, like little thing that goes down to the right by the tunnels there, where there's like a garbage dumpster thing that they were trying to back their vehicle up to. It appeared to like jump into the canals to try to evade us. We were able to box them in. Once we had them boxed in, from my perspective, I saw both individuals jump out of the vehicle, and at first I started pursuing DeMarcus Washington. However, I heard the vehicle start back up and start moving, so I turned around, and that's when the vehicle struck me. And then Murphy called over radio to open fire as the vehicle was striking me, and it was
Isn't that
boxed in. I
against
had nowhere
procedure?
to go, and it hit me one or two times. I can't remember how many times, but it struck me as it was trying to get out of the box. Eventually, Mark Snow was gunned down on scene, and then he was treated by EMS and on scene, and then transported to Pillbox for further treatment, and then to MRPD to be for processing. DeMarcus was apprehended, by the way. He gave himself up, put his hands up, took him into custody. He was positively identified to being involved in the bank truck. So he ended up going to jail, and he pleaded guilty. He ended up in the cells admitting that, yes, he was in fact the guy that was at the bank truck. So he was charged accordingly. However, Mr. Snow was not positively identified for the bank truck situation, so he was only charged for reckless driving and unlawful flight. And those are the charges he's fighting today.
He's... Alright, sorry. He's... Mr. Snow, can you step forward, please? You're fighting reckless driving, unlawful flight?
Yeah, and preferably I want to countersue for unlawful use of force.
Okay, let's focus on one thing at a time here. Why would you like to fight these charges?
Well, because I did stop multiple times for them. I think a total of 4 times. All 4 times nobody communicated with me or made clear what I was supposed to do. So I presumed that they were on Grove Street for a different reason than my vehicle, as that was not communicated to me. Then, as soon as I drive away, they pull up again, and I did stop for them every single time, pretty much. So, to me, it just seems like they were trying to instigate me to run from them, because I did stop from them, but as soon as I stopped, they just waited for me to do something.
So let me get this clear, Mr. Snow. An officer pulled up behind you with their lights on, correct?
Yes.
And how long were they behind you?
I don't know exact times, but I stopped for them, and then
Any longer than, let's say, 3 minutes? Let's just put that out there, you think? Any longer than 3 minutes for the first time?
Not really. He backed off after about a minute. He backed off already.
He backed off? Like, where did he go? What happened then?
He drove like 3 meters backwards.
Okay, was his light still on?
Yes.
Okay. And did he hop out of the vehicle?
No, he got dragged out by a local.
So, he got dragged out of the vehicle, and then he got back into the vehicle, correct?
Yep.
And then he locked his vehicle, and he sat there for how long, you think? Just estimate?
About 2-3 minutes, maybe.
2-3 minutes. And he's just sitting there. Okay, you're objecting to my questions?
Oh,
I'm just
no,
giving my
his-
statement. I think.
his-
I don't think
okay,
there's
yeah, I'll
anything to
just wait.
object.
Sorry, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, everybody's very new. Just let me get a handle on the situation. So, because there is no witnesses technically, it's just the defense and you guys, right?
The Marcus, I guess. But
Okay. Well, maybe DeMarcus should be here, but anyway, let me
Jail.
let me
I doubt you're
proceed
gonna find
here.
him.
Let me proceed here. So he got in the vehicle for 3 minutes, and Atkins, are you disagreeing with that?
Absolutely, it was not 3 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Um, okay, and then you left after that,
No,
Mr. Snow?
I tried communicating with him. I tried talking to him, but I didn't get an answer. So then I backed off slightly. Like I backed up towards him a tiny bit
Mhm.
to try and hear him out. Like I was trying to communicate with him, and then he just, as soon as I moved even slightly, he just backed up again.
Okay. And during that time, was DeMarcus saying that you should go?
I think so.
Okay. Atkins, how long was it between that in your eyes?
Like, so the entirety of like him between me lighting my lights up and him fleeing, was maybe 1 to 2 minutes. It was like a very quick interaction before he ended up actually fleeing.
And how many officers can you get to confirm that?
Well, I mean, I have Murphy here who was over radio, so he could be able to let you know.
I'm referring to the
testify
first time.
Yeah, well, he would be able to testify like from my radio call to when he showed up, because that's about the time that Mark Snow ended up fleeing from the scene.
I mean, but even Murphy can get time frames wrong.
I mean, everybody can get time frames
So can
wrong.
you.
Exactly.
That's the point.
I agree.
Murphy,
So-
Murphy, in your own words, what was the time frame?
I would say it was probably one to 2 minutes by the time Atkins called it out over radio that he was down there and had spotted the midget 69 plate and called for backup to the time that he said he had an active pursuit. It was pretty quick.
All right. Something I do want to mention because we're all very loose here. Everybody who is speaking from a oh I saw this or oh I saw that, you guys are under oath. So I just want to make that clear.
Yep.
I know we don't have a bailiff. I know we're very loose. This is a bench trial. There's not a lot of people here, but don't fuck me around with that, please. Let's move on. So, okay, even if it was 3 minutes, like, what do you think allows you to leave when there are lights on?
So after I think like the third time that I tried communicating with them, I pulled around and like I took a left and a right straight away, and I pulled over again because he was still after me, and again like he didn't communicate with me. He just came up to like he drove up behind me. I stopped. He just backed off slightly again, and I just sat there. Like I sat there for I think like a solid minute, just waiting for him to do something, say anything, and he just sat there, said nothing.
Again, definitely not a minute, sir.
Okay. And then the next stop, how long do you think you sat there?
Well, at that point, I was confused. Like I didn't understood what he wanted me to do. Like he had all the time to communicate with me. The backup he could have called for already. I'm already confused as to why the backup is an issue. Because when don't you usually just pull people over when you know there's people around? Like why is he there alone if that's such an issue in the first place?
I'd love
But
to answer that
regardless, like I pulled over again and again he didn't say anything. So at that point I'm just confused as to what he wants me to do. So I assume I can just go. But then like what do I do? Like I stop, he doesn't do anything. I drive, he still comes after me. What
Alright,
are my options here?
you can go back to your stand. Atkins, come forward, please.
Yep.
To the stand. What if what's Snow saying true in regards to not the time frame, but the response time? How long were you alone on the traffic?
Like I said, it was like 1 to 2 minutes on the original scene at Grove Street, and then backup arrived. When he fled the scene, that's when backup was arriving and joining in on the chase. So when he's saying that he pulled over later on when he made the right-hand turn, it was only a few seconds that he pulled over. So again, this vehicle was seen, and to just make it clear, this vehicle was seen leaving the scene of an armed bank truck robbery where there's dead guards on the scene. So it's a very dangerous situation that this car could have been involved in, and so we have to be very careful. So I was trying to make sure if he in fact was really pulling over and complying as he's trying to state here, we were going to initiate a code 5 stop at that time, which does take time to set up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, if it's so scary to be there, then why are you there alone in the first place?
Yeah, go ahead and
I'm
answer.
doing my job.
Doing your job, all right.
Yeah, but then, like, my question is, so you're scared to be there, so you wait for backup. But then, if you wait for backup once you do something, why don't you make sure there's backup there in the first place?
Okay. Let me ask this question, Atkins. On the second time that Mr. Snow stopped, did you have additional units, and if so, who?
Yes. I can't remember exactly which units, but I believe the ones that were involved in the chase was myself, Tetson, Murphy, and then there was one other unit as a fourth parallel. I can't recall which unit that was.
All right. Which units of those that you can list can you get down here now?
I believe just Murphy, who's already here. Tetson's off duty.
Okay. Murphy, approach the stand, please, where Atkins is standing. From your point of view, what happened, and Snow, feel free to object. We can move into, like, sort of normal court proceedings.
So, at what point do you want me to start?
Um,
Timeline?
from whenever you heard radio traffic on the scene.
On the scene of Grove Street, correct?
Yep, and please include timelines, as they are clearly important here.
Okay, so just going before Grove Street happened a little bit, I had entered in the Midget 69 plate into our radar's plate reader as a Bolo vehicle. Probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes after I had finished entering that data into the plate reader, 101 Rodney Atkins radioed that he had located that vehicle down in the Grove Street area as his plate reader went off. Upon him calling out that he had located the vehicle within that same radio blip, he said that he needed backup. And then myself, Marley Tetson, who's 301 the sheriff, myself and Marley Tetson responded immediately. So we were the two units that were the closest. We were on Elgin, just south of Strawberry, so about a minute out at that point. And then upon responding, we didn't necessarily go to the Grove Street area directly. We cut over west on Carson because at that point a pursuit had already began. So between him radioing us that he needed backup and Grove Street, via him locating the Midget 69 plate, to the time of us responding, it was probably like 2 minutes, and at that point he was already in a chase. And then when we responded, we went west on Carson and then hung a right and went south on Roy Lowenstein, just kind of on the bridge there that goes over the viaduct. And at that point, Frost was kind of sitting in the middle of the road, just kind of, sitting there. And
Is this
as
Snow or
we rolled
Frost?
up, he started to drive off again. So again, what Atkins was saying, that the second time he pulled over and was just sitting there, it was a matter of seconds. Again, all of this, if you look at the entire timeline, from the time that he got down there, located the vehicle via the Midget 69 plate, to the time him calling out he needed backup, to the time backup responding, to the time pursuit, started, it was probably 3 minutes in total, 4 max. It was bang, bang, bang right after one another.
So you saw me on Grove Street itself still, correct?
I did not see you on Grove Street. When I saw you, you were on Roy Lowenstein, just on the bridge there on the viaduct parallel to Grove Street. That is when 301 and myself attached fully, and we're on scene.
All right,
wait,
just
so
give me a second here. Hold on, stop asking questions. I'm looking at map. Give me a second. Went from Grove Street to Roy
I believe it said
Lowenstein.
West Carlson.
It's like right around the
Or
corner.
Carson, not Carlson.
Where was the first stop? Where was the second stop of
on
the
Covenant
vehicle?
Avenue.
It
On
would've
Covenant Ave.
been-
So I was under the impression that that you arrived at Covenant Ave with the traffic, with the second traffic after he had went off?
So when I had arrived, it was called out that the vehicle was fleeing. 301 and myself arrived somewhere between Covenant Avenue and Dutch London. Because at that point, after the vehicle was kind of sitting in the middle of the road there, the pursuit ended up going west on Dutch London and then looping around the back of Maze Bank and coming back out Davis.
Where was the third stop? Did you see that at least?
The third stop, after we chased him for probably a good couple minutes, he ended up stopping on Lower Elgin there. Well, I don't want to call it Lower Elgin, but the portion of Elgin that's covered there by Garage A. He stopped in the middle of the road where Atkins had his car on the left of him. We were facing south, just north of Strawberry there, or San Andreas, correction. I was right behind his vehicle,
Fucking
my
hero.
bumper almost touching his, and they were talking, and I
Wait, no,
remember
north.
Mr. Frost saying, you know, what are you pulling me over for? What's going on? I'm confused, and that I didn't hear you, blah, 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 and then Atkins was like, all right, well, let's just pull it over to the side and then have a conversation.
All right,
And
let
from
me
that
stop
point-
you right there. Specifically verbiage. Do you have an objection to what he just said? You said, Mr. Snow.
Not necessarily. My only question is, like, if you were on Elgin towards Strawberry, how did it take you so long to get to Grove Street?
What point in the timeline are you talking? The initial response?
Yeah.
Because if he called for backup when we were on Grove Street, and you guys just said the Grove Street scenario took about a minute, 2 minutes. From Elgin to Grove is, especially if you're going code 3, shouldn't take you longer than a minute.
Yeah, it was probably about a minute. I mean, we weren't.
Yeah, but I
Driving
also stopped on
insanely fast.
Covenant Avenue for at least, like, according to you guys, maybe like a minute. So at that point you should have already been there. So you delayed coming to
It's a
Covenant.
pretty good point.
Objection, like, point of that, I guess, doesn't matter.
You're saying his point doesn't matter?
Yeah,
Well, I think it
trying to
does, because
understand
to
the
me it
point.
seems like you guys were just literally trying to entrap me into a pursuit. Sounds to me like he was waiting for me to run instead of coming up and actually provide backup to you.
Give me a second on that objection.
It's not really an objection, that's more of a testimony.
I understand. Just give me a second. I'm looking at my list of stuff. Leading examples of leading, relevance. Nah, it's all those things, yeah. Okay.
I think his objection would be relevance.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I just turned myself down. Okay. So if you're still maintaining that objection, it's gonna be overruled. I think there is a pretty good point here. What car were you driving, and how fast does it go, Marvy?
I had a Charger.
What's the top speed?
Depends where you're at.
If you're heading, I don't know what route you took, but if you're heading down southbound, what, Elgin or Strawberry, that's
Yeah,
a pretty
so
straight.
We went southbound Elgin, hung right at Strawberry, and then hung a left on Carson, and ran that all the way down to Royal.
But why didn't you continue on Strawberry and just take a left on Grove to provide backup then?
Because at that point, when we arrived, it was out on Roy Lowenstein.
Okay, I have another
To
question.
answer your
Atkins?
question though, Judge, probably like
Yeah, why are we allowing
125,
the
130.
defense
I don't understand
to
the relevance.
question the... I don't understand.
Say again, Atkins?
I guess I'm curious why we're allowing the defendant to ask questions while you're addressing Murphy.
Like I said, it's very loosey-goosey, and you guys are also asking some questions. Or making statements, per se. If this is a full-fledged court case, it'd be different. But since it's a bench trial, I'll allow it.
Okay.
But say what you were saying again, Murphy, I apologize.
Oh no, you're good. So to answer your question about the speed in terms of the Charger in that portion of the city, probably like 125, 130. Again, when
Okay.
we're responding to scenes, it's not put it on fucking two wheels around a corner, and that we respond with common sense so that we're not putting other citizens in danger. So we respond in a timely manner, but unless there is a 1013, it's a safe response.
All right. Okay. Snow, do you have any specific questions for anybody here? Something that would assist
no,
you
I
here.
think if we count the ones I already asked, no.
Okay.
I do.
You have questions for your officer, or me, or the defendant? 'Cause I don't
For
think
the
that's.
defendant.
Yeah, that's not gonna. It's up to the defendant on if he's gonna self-incriminate or not. He doesn't have to
If he
answer
wants to
questions.
ask, he can ask.
Yeah, go ahead. Defendant,
Okay.
approach. Approach the bench, and Murphy can go back. Go ahead, ask your questions.
Before we ask, any chance we could get some food and maybe water down here?
We
I'll
have.
go find a vending
Wait,
machine.
yeah, there's a vending machine here.
Yeah, I'll go get some.
It's to the left. Go ahead, Atkins.
All right.
Also, do I have to answer it?
You don't. You have the right to remain silent if you
Okay.
would wish.
Okay. So you stated, on the original scene, you had some confusion and, why you were being pulled over, and that there was lights and sirens behind you. Is that correct?
Yeah. You
Okay.
mean the scene on Grove Street, I assume, right?
Correct. Yeah. The initial
Yes.
scene. Okay.
Somebody that has money is gonna need to do it. Sorry for interrupting.
Here, I can give you some money. Here, just take some money from me.
I have 450.
Just search me and take it off.
I had 450 as well.
I got plenty.
Damn, bro, you fucking stacking.
I'm on duty a lot. All right. Okay. So again, you stated that on the initial scene that you saw lights and sirens behind you. Correct?
Yes.
And typically, when you see lights and sirens behind you, what have you done in the past?
Typically I tend to pull over, but there has been occasions where a police officer mistook me for a different vehicle that he was looking for.
Okay. And on that scene, at that time, did you pull your vehicle over to the side and stop?
I think I stopped a little bit on the road still, but yeah, I did attempt to stop.
Okay. You were in the middle of the road, correct?
Hard to recall.
Okay. My recollection is that you were in the middle of the road. During my lights and sirens being initial scene, and when you had questions about why you're being pulled over and not getting a response from me yet, did you move your vehicle back to the side of my vehicle?
I did move my vehicle back slightly. I don't know how far.
And how many times did you move your vehicle towards my vehicle at that initial scene?
I believe it was twice because you weren't being responsive to anything that was being asked.
Good.
Gotcha. Okay. Later on, okay, so we've established that you moved your vehicle several times during that initial scene. Later on, when you pulled over on Roy Lowenstein, did you end up driving away from the scene?
Yes.
And about how long did it take you as you were evading police to then get to southbound Elgin, where I pulled up to the side of your vehicle because you had slowed down?
Unsure. I don't exactly recall the paths that were taken.
Okay. Yeah. So I remember us driving around the south side a bit. You were trying, high rates of speed, driving around, and then up north, and then came back down south from like facing southbound on Elgin past Pillbox. At that time, when I pulled up next to your vehicle, do you recall what I told you?
Not exactly.
Okay. Do you remember me saying, "Hey, just pull it over. If that's the case, pull it over so we can have a conversation"?
Not necessarily.
Okay. And then after that, did you drive away from that scene?
I believe so.
Okay. And then after that, do you recall still evading police and trying to back your car up the stairs, kind of like behind the car wash there, as DeMarcus Washington exited the vehicle, trying to flee?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Do you recall the Veester either smoking or something happened to the Veester where you and DeMarcus got out of that vehicle and jumped into a secondary vehicle and continued to flee?
Yes.
Okay. After a while of chasing that vehicle and you still refusing to stop your vehicle, do you recall stopping that vehicle, getting out, and getting into a third vehicle, a black shafter?
Not necessarily.
All right. So you don't recall the black shafter that you were eventually gunned down in driving that vehicle?
Oh, you mean that one? Yeah. No,
How
I'm
was
sorry.
it
I'm
gunned
not
down?
good with vehicles.
Okay. Yeah, it was a black shafter. Schwarzer, Strafter, whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, the black vehicle.
Shafted.
Chapter
Mhm.
V12, I believe.
Chapter V12, I believe. Yeah, okay. All right, so you do recall that vehicle?
Yeah.
And you driving that vehicle throughout the city and then ending up on Popular Street down in that little side alleyway thing?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So at many points during this situation, you could have made the decision to stop and pull over and wait for officers to approach your vehicle and detain you, but you chose not to. Is that correct?
Well, I think the ending of the pursuit clearly shows why I shouldn't have pulled over.
Well, you struck an officer with the vehicle as you continued to try to
Um,
evade police.
Per statement, you said you walked behind my vehicle, so that's
Yeah, I'm still trying to detain you. It's not illegal to walk behind your vehicle, sir.
Well, yeah, but if someone jumps into a front of a moving vehicle, then
I
that's
didn't.
not a fault of the driver.
I went behind a vehicle that was trying to go forward, sir. And you were also warned to get out of the vehicle and stop driving the vehicle, or you'd be fired upon. And you chose not to.
We might have different recollections of that.
Okay. All right, Judge. I just want to point out that based on this line of questioning and his answers, that he did have ample opportunities to pull the vehicles over, the multiple vehicles over that he was involved in the chase, in the pursuits. He was given multiple opportunities to give himself up. He chose not to. He did recklessly drive throughout the city, and he also was an unlawful flight from police. So this is quite clear based upon statements from all of these testimonies as well as the evidence provided in the reports. No further questions.
Okay.
If I may, Judge,
Go ahead.
based on the statement you just heard, at any point, any communications that were made from the side of the defendant, even though I believe it's the police's job to initiate communications. Also, at the ending of the pursuit, as you heard, I was quote-unquote gunned down by the police, which is one of the very reasons it didn't feel safe to pull over after already many attempts to stop.
Okay. Atkins, I have a few questions. Defense, you can go back to your stand. So, Snow alleges that you put yourself in front of the way to get hit. I want to really understand what happened there. So we're just gonna zoom in there. Okay? The vehicle gets boxed in where? Let's start there.
Okay. The vehicle gets boxed in at the back of that little alleyway that's just on the north side of Popular Street, where you can jump into the canals via the dumpster down there. It's a
Okay.
very small. It's a pretty small space.
Is it the one with the door? Like the gate door? Like between
No.
578 and 579er?
It's Hold
You
on,
see
just
the
going back.
17
It's northeast
like most...
of mile marker 3 on
Yeah.
Del Perro, where this little 17 is on Popular Street.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. So you're familiar.
Yes.
Okay. So when we had it boxed in, I believed that both individuals had jumped out of the vehicle to flee on foot because the vehicle was not mobile. We had it boxed into where it couldn't move.
Objection.
Go ahead.
Not really sure what, but I never left the vehicle.
I didn't say you did. I said I believed you did.
Okay.
That would be
So-
objection speculation.
So at the time, I got out of my vehicle to do a foot pursuit because DeMarcus Washington did definitely jump out of the vehicle and started fleeing on foot. He jumped over the fence, and I was in pursuit of him. That's when I heard the vehicle's engine start roaring, and I was behind the vehicle. At no point was I in front of the vehicle. I was behind the vehicle.
Which way was the vehicle facing?
Westbound. I was facing eastbound. I was
Okay.
on the east side of the vehicle. The vehicle.
So
facing
did
westbound.
it have room to move either way?
Not at first. It was completely pinned against the back wall. Mr. Snow started smashing the gas and smashing into officers' vehicles to try to get out from the box. The other officers had it pinned at first. It started moving the vehicles a little bit, like just a little bit.
It is.
At
Hello,
that time, he
Illusion.
got a little
Welcome.
space
Hope we're doing
forward,
well, man.
pulled
Nice seeing you.
forward, and then that's when he backed up into me. That's because I had turned around, hearing this over the radio, and hearing the vehicle start, hitting the car. So I turned around. I disengaged from my pursuit with DeMarcus. I turned around to engage Mr. Snow, trying to break the box. That's when Murphy called
Doing
out that he
fantastic,
needs
man.
to stop the vehicle or else he's going to be shot. That's when Mr. Murphy then backed up the vehicle and struck me, which then I fell over. He ran over me.
Wait, Mr.
and
Murphy
that's when
ran
he
you
was shot.
over?
Sorry, no, Snow. Mr. Snow, sorry. Mr. Snow backed the vehicle up.
YouTube's
struck
a lot
me,
better.
The back
39,000
tires went over
views
my body.
in 4 months.
Hurt my ribs really bad, actually. It hurt me a lot. And that's when...
I have a question. Did you get medically checked out? Is there any medical records to say about the injuries?
No, EMS was too focused on Mr. Snow's injuries as he was shot several times on stream.
Okay, maybe this should be the question. Mr. Snow, was Atkins hit? Period. I'm not saying who, but was he hit?
He was hit.
Thank you. Okay. Let me just make sure. So he was boxed in. He was boxed in on both sides by police cars, right?
No, so there's a wall and a fence that his car was stuck on behind his vehicle.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So initially he was pinned against that with the 3 of our cop cars in front of his vehicle.
So that was his right side pinned against it, or left? I'm trying to get a real good perspective here because this is important.
Recall, I think it was like facing. He was kind of back, like his front of his hood was kind of to the east and kind of facing away from that dumpster because he was trying to back up. What his plan originally was to back up and jump over that dumpster to get into the canals. We had pinned him.
Objection, speculation.
Okay, so that's what we thought he was trying to do. So
okay,
we
move
pinned
on.
him. We pinned him, and so I believe his car was facing to, if you're looking in that direction, his back end would be to the left, and his hood would be to the right. And when I got out of my car, when DeMarcus jumped out, I went to the left behind his car, started to pursue DeMarcus, but the car had. That's when Mr. Snow's vehicle had started up and started moving it forward. It kind of inched forward and turned clockwise, so that when his hood was then sort of facing our cop cars now, and I was behind his trunk at that time. That's when.
Were you actively maneuvering while he was doing that?
Yes.
What was your intention with that?
My intention was to try to. Well, at first I was pursuing DeMarcus. Then I turned around. I tried tasing him because the back window was broken, so I only had a few seconds to make a decision. So I tried to tase him really quickly out of from the back window that was broken out. As soon as I did that, that's when the car backed up and it struck me, and then I was, underneath the vehicle for a few seconds. And that's, again, while he was doing the whole thing, Murphy made a call over the radio to get out of the vehicle. And if he, strikes an officer, he's going to get shot. And
that was after he struck you or before?
No. It was before he struck me that call was made to him. It was only a few seconds because it was that call was made. He chose to back up, strike me, and then he was shot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Would you say there was enough time for me to react to it?
Yeah, would you say if there was enough time for him to react to it? And this is both for Murphy and Atkins. Atkins, you answer first.
Absolutely. He could have made the choice to just stop the vehicle and get out. He was stuck in there. There was no way he was going to get out.
Moving backwards as the call was made.
Murphy, can you speak to that since Atkins was actively getting ran over at the time? You can come forward.
So, Atkins, like you said, had. So like Atkins said, he had initially got out to pursue DeMarcus Washington. So his vehicle was on the left side. There was 3 chargers that had pitted in Mr. Snow. That's your last name, right?
That is his last name.
Correct. So there was 3 vehicles that had pitted in Mr. Snow. Atkins was the primary, so he was the initial vehicle that started the box, and that I was secondary, so I was the middle vehicle in the box, and then 301 Marley Tedson was the third vehicle on the box. So all three of us, having our charges facing east, had him pinned up against the wall that was on the eastern side of that little alley. And that. So DeMarcus Washington gets out, and that on foot. Atkins sees him, gets out again, starts the foot pursuit, and at this point is behind Mr. Snow's vehicle. And at this point, while Atkins is behind, Snow is ramming my vehicle and Marley Tedson's vehicle, trying to get back out the alley entrance to Popular Street. I was in my eyes with my department issue firearm pulled in that, and I was yelling to him saying, if you continue to try to get out, you're going to be shot. And within a few seconds after saying that, he proceeded to put the vehicle in reverse, running over Atkins, and that's when I unloaded my department-issued weapon.
But again, only a few seconds to react.
It was more than enough to hear that and realize that, oh, maybe I should not back up. Any normal human being with normal cognitive abilities could have understood what I had said.
Okay. You can go back to
actually
your...
also, so you're
desk.
saying you were in front of me with a gun pointed at me, correct?
Yeah, answer that question, please.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
You were in front of my vehicle with a gun pointed at me?
Correct. I had my gun pointed at you for our safety, as at that time we believed you were using the vehicle for a weapon, actively ramming units, vehicles, trying to get out.
Okay, so you were also able to see if I was holding anything in my hands or not?
Correct. You had your hands on the wheel trying to get out of the box.
Copy. So, from the point of view pointing a weapon and then me going in reverse, you would also have been able to see that I would probably be looking at you instead of Atkins, correct?
Correct. If you're driving forward, you'd be looking at me.
Well, I'm more referring to having a gun pointed at my head. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Snow, do you have any questions for Atkins or Murphy or wherever the other dude went?
I just have one.
For
Do
who?
you guys typically move close to vehicles when they are maneuvering around?
Atkins, as the chief of police, can you answer that question?
It's all situational, depending on the scene. So
there's no specific SOP standard on that?
I mean, ultimately, if we have a vehicle pinned, someone's going to get out of their cruiser and try to tase the driver out of the vehicle.
I don't like tasing in a vehicle.
In hopes
Personally.
to detain them.
It's not relevant, but
threat to
just say it.
obviously if they're in driving through the city in the manners that Mr. Snow was here, they're a threat to the local population and others on the roads. So we're going to try to get them detained, get them out of the vehicle. So generally, someone's going to jump out of their vehicle, yes, to try to tase them out of the vehicle and get them in cuffs.
Right, yeah, follow-up question on that. Do you typically do that from the blind spot, or do you typically do that from like a side window?
Probably situational,
Depends
I
on
think.
whatever's most advantageous at the time, depending on the scene.
Alright, thank you.
I do too, Jay. Alright, does anybody have any more questions for anybody, or any more statements, or anything that will help me in my deliberation to fully understand the scene? Is there anything you think I may have misunderstood? Is there anything at all? Now's your time. This includes evidence.
I do have a couple of questions about the evidence.
Sure.
So what evidence is there that the midget 19 plate was the same one as the vehicle that was on the bank robbery scene?
So Murphy, you have the BOLO information on that vehicle?
Yeah, so 301 and I were pulled over on Legion there just south of
Okay,
San
but like,
Andreas.
is there any other proof besides you saying the car was there?
So I locked the plate on the scene of the bank robbery.
Okay, do you have evidence of that?
I think this is
I have
relevant.
body cam of it. I have body cam of watching individuals in that same vehicle with the midget 69 plate robbing a group 6 bank truck.
Hey,
and I
Jay, can you
positioned
speak
my
to the
vehicle
body
behind
cam
theirs
rule?
to lock the plate
Are we allowed to use
with my
body cam?
computer.
Alright, thank you.
And then after the scene was code 4, the evidence
Say I don't
that we
remember.
collected on the group 6 truck.
Because it's new.
I went back 10-8, pulled off to the side of the road in a safe position, and then went into the radar and logged the midget 69 plate, and that is how Rodney Atkins 101 was able to.
Well, bench
submit
trials
same
doesn't need to be
plate
submitted
on that same vehicle
prior.
in Grove, because his radar went off.
Alright, and you have body cam of you locking the plate?
There's
Correct.
specific
I got
things
body
going
cam
on,
of me
Sam.
entering that same plate and the position
I
of
can't
Justin
really
leaving.
speak about it.
Alright, I just needed to know to make sure that you guys actually locked the proper plate.
I have a question specifically about the body cam because this is the first time it's been mentioned to my ears. Do we have any body cam footage? I did ask at the start. Murphy, did you have any body cam of the altercation? That'd be fantastically helpful for your guys.
We all do, but it just is depending on judge's time because with the evidence that's already been and the statements that have already been done in this case, it's only a bench trial and not like a formal jury trial.
Well, we don't have
we
jury
can
trials.
We can make this take as long as you want. I'd rather.
I'd rather not. In respect of everybody's time here, I'd rather not. But here's what I'll ask you, and I am expecting a very honest fucking answer here. If I were to watch the body cam, is there anything you guys have left out? I'm going to weigh this not very heavily, but I just need to know this for a surety that I am going to make the right thing. Because if there's something you guys missed, right, is there something is like even as small as, you know, the amount of time that shit took place, then I want to see it, right?
Sir, I can assure you that we're not missing anything. I have other statements that were made by DeMarcus Washington in the cells that would be further incriminating, but I don't feel like it's necessary at this time. But if you want to watch the body cam, I'm more than happy to
Okay. I'll give it to Mr. Snow then. Mr. Snow, you are the reason we are all here, right? And I'm sure you understand that specifically coming in here knowing that you are wrong will be punished via the court's fining system. So, would you like to get the body cam to make sure that you are, if you're 100% sure that you are in the right here, would you like the body cam or would you not? And this is not incriminating regardless of what you answer here.
If there's body cam of the shooting at the end, I'd probably like to see it.
Okay.
We can clarify then how the command was given, but I mean, again, for sake of time, there's not like a need for it.
I'll ask you of Atkins or Murphy, how long do you really think it's going to take you to cut a 30-second clip and upload it?
Here, sir. So there's two things here, Judge.
Yep.
Your Honor, is one, Mr. Snow is currently in this bench trial for the charges of reckless driving and unlawful flight.
Yep.
If he'd like to pursue further, countersuit or whatever he'd like to do in the court of law for what he believes to be an improper use of force, then that should be done at a different time.
You're completely right. Okay. Final chance. Is there anything you guys think I missed with your guys' deliberation? Anything you want to add? Anything you want to ask? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I am good as well.
At any point, did any of you use your megaphone to try and communicate?
No, I was shouting.
Same, I was shouting too.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You can, just chill. Don't leave the room. Give me 10 minutes. Megaphone. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. He already admitted guilt under oath. He said he fled. All right. He literally said, and this is like, it's not a quote, but he said, I stopped the second time and then fled. Right. There is no doubt in my mind that this man didn't do what he did. Do I not have access to MDT anymore? Motherfuckers. I had it once and now I don't. Bastards. Okay. It's okay. It's alright. I wanted to just reread and see it how it's written. But I guess not. So yeah. The thing is, right, is that, like, you're not supposed to leave. You're not supposed to leave when there's someone behind you with lights on and sirens. That's it. Right? I think it's as simple as that. Now, when it comes to fines and shit, I don't know what to do because we're talking about, let me just ask again. Hey, Atkins. What charges are you pursuing again? I didn't write it down.
Reckless driving and unlawful flight.
Thank you. Reckless driving, unlawful flight. See, the thing is like, in my court stuff, like, I don't have something for that. Like, literally nothing says that.
Captain unlawful flight.
So class 6, it just says up to 2 years, right? There's nothing about that. But there should be, because in this case, he just wasted all our fucking times.
More just the shooting part that was
So this might be a, you know, I can't tell you right now.
So fucked up. And it's kind of one of those quick reactionary situations.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know what the fine is supposed to be. Right? Because I don't have it. So what I'll do is Austin online. No, he's like completely MIA. So I do not know the answer to this question, unfortunately. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Make it up, send him for the 9s? No, absolutely not. What I'll say is, like, he will be getting fined a heavy amount because I feel like this was a waste of our time. But that amount will be decided at a later date because I don't have that information on hand. When it comes to the time, he should get full sentence, as is. Title 2? Are you talking about real life, Sam? Because real life, I don't want to fuck around with real life shit. Bail enhancements, nope. None of that shit. Bail guidelines, nope. Court sentencing, nope. Yeah, I've looked through it all. Nothing. So, yeah, it's he's guilty. He's guilty. That's it. Just below bail enhancements. Just below bail enhancements. Prior convictions. Oh, misdemeanor. Add $1,000. Felony. Add 5,000. Serious. Add 50,000. Serious 2. But no, this is still all bail enhancements. Yeah, that's all still bail enhancements. Court sentencing is the stuff I'm looking for. So, you know what I'll do? Since everything's a times 50 multiplier, I'll do times 50 of reckless driving on unlawful flight. I think that makes sense. So if we look at the statutes for those, yeah, because that keeps in line with the thing. All right. So let me see what reckless driving is. So reckless driving is $250. So someone do the math on 250 times 50. Well, I look for unlawful flight. 280. And I'll just give him the same time. Because that would be the enhancement. I think that's fine. So, calculator 250. 50 times 50, which is 1250. And I'll open up another calculator. 280 times 50 is 14,000. So 14,000 plus 12,500 is 2,605. There's $26,500. Jesus Christ, numbers. Fuck me. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna fine him at the ass, and I'm not going to add a. I'm not gonna add more time. I'm just gonna say max the time to where it was. So, a fine of 2,600 time of what is the time for those? Let me see. Flight. Unlawful flight is 15 months. I'm not going to do 15 months times 50. That'd be hilarious, but I'm not doing it. So 15 months plus reckless driving is just 10. It's 12. So that's 27 months, right? 15 plus 12? 27 months. Awesome. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
I have deliberated, and I find that the defendant is guilty of the charges. Now, that being said, there are going to be some enhancements because that's just what they do. Now, it's not specifically stated in the statutes that there is enhancements for misdemeanors, but specifically, there will be enhancements for this because enhancements do not apply to the I believe it's called double jeopardy. It's some kind of rule where you can't like add a thing and then charge the person you're charging right now for it. That doesn't apply because it's just about fines. So, fine for you, Mr. Snow, is going to be $26,500, and I'm not going to be changing the time. I believe you didn't spend any time in prison, correct?
No.
So the fine is going to, or the time is going to stay right the same of 27 months, and you will have you'll have a week to pay the fine of $26,500.
Judge,
Yes.
since he hasn't been charged yet, we could fine him through the MDT. If you want.
Can you afford that, Mr. Snow?
I don't think so.
Because technically that money's supposed to go to the state, not
No,
to
I
the.
can't.
Okay, so I'm just gonna sentence him from here for the basic charges, and then you guys charge him for the. He has to pay you for the fine.
Yes, he has to come to me and give me money, which sounds really sus. But yeah, you have a week, so I'll give you a specific date, just so we're all clear here, because the last people haven't paid yet, and they're gonna get what's coming to them soon. By the law, that is. So let's
Can I ask
see.
a question?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6, 7. So it's the 2nd of next month, May. Go ahead.
So what happens for these individuals if they don't pay?
Asset forfeiture. So vehicles, houses, jail time. There's a specific statute for not paying. I'm very new to the system, so we haven't really touched it. But you know,
Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
understandable. Just trying to grow my knowledge, you know.
me
Judge,
too.
Judge, do you want me to so when I book him in the MBT to put him in jail, do you want me to just remove the fine altogether and then
Remove the fine altogether as it's been enhanced.
Okay, and the enhancement is going to be 26K even. Is that correct? How much is it?
26 and a half. So 26.5.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate everyone coming in here and having a very civil argument. I apologize to Mr. Snow. It didn't go his way. But that is it. That is my judgment. Thank you all for coming. Good day. It's adjourned.
All right, Mr. Snow, I'm going to get you sent up, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, be safe at Bolingbrook.
He's just going to send him from there? All right. I'm gonna draw my firearm so I don't get jumped here. Man, we are just a waste of gas, huh? Hey, tell whatever cops come here that their megaphone's there, please. It's in that bag. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be deliberation over. We're going to go ahead and head back up to Sandy real quick. I'm going to head a car wash. But yeah, like that stuff's really hard. A lot of stuff about the court system's really hard. Like I had a modicum of difficulty running that, as it wasn't the normal yin and yang or the pull and push of the court system, as it's a little bit more formatted than that. But Austin did tell me I have pretty much free reign to run bench trials however the fuck I want. So I was just trying something a little bit more loosey-goosey, and I feel like I learned more about the scene than I would normally, right? Just asking questions and, you know, being the trier of fact, which is what a judge is. And yeah, I think you know, it was a tough thing, but at the end of the day, I truly believe that Mark Snow was in the wrong. He was guilty, and I do think that there was enough evidence there to like put them there. Because previously, you know, that like I was being a very, very hard man when it comes to evidence, but in this case specifically because of who was there and the police testimony there, and also that 301 was mentioned, and I wouldn't imagine 101 would lie under oath regarding 301's statement, even though it's speculation. So I did side with the police here. But I do expect a bunch of gang members to, you know, come and try to kill me because, you know, that's what they do. Just so you know, that honestly is the type of trial I was talking about previously. I was looking? You mean looking for? Damn, my car looks sick, bro. Sheesh. But that was solid. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's just better and easier for everybody who isn't a fucking lawyer to just run it like an argument. Right? Yeah, I had two separate conversations going at once. My bad. It's all good. It's all good. It was fun roleplay. But yeah, I am... Oh wow, this car gets dirty quick. I am expecting the blue boys or the purple boys to come and get me, but in this case, I am ready. But yeah, it was definitely some fun RP, for sure. And I do like running bench trials like that. Sounds like you should contact police for an escort, or should hire one of them to be a bodyguard for you. Yeah, the thing is about my character is he's not exactly the most good. So we have some specific corruption rules in our server. However, my character, when it comes to certain things outside of the courtroom, is a little sus, right? Does that mean I'm going around doing crime? No. But my character has a pretty interesting background that, you know, is one of my favorite backstories in FiveM that I've been making. But it's slow to reveal because it requires certain people that my character needs to meet, right? And long viewers of the stream, of the Verdin stream specifically, will know a little bit more because there's certain people that my character knows and should. But yeah, I wouldn't want to, you know, have police that close. That's why I bought this car. Because it doesn't have a plate, so specifically to the guys, and also they can't see in. So it is a very useful vehicle. But yeah, I did my best. I'm sure there's like a bunch of things I did wrong there. It's like, yeah, judges aren't really supposed to ask questions or whatever, but to my understanding of the courtroom, like, you know, to my understanding of the courtroom, I'm pretty sure I did that okay. But I know judges can ask questions, and I know that, like, because they're the trier of fact and all that, but, like, bench trials are weird. For sure. And also, we don't really have corrupt cops, Sam, unfortunately. So you'll get heavily punished from an edit character standpoint on that. As that isn't allowed. And mind you, I'm happier for it, right? But yeah, I haven't done anything on this character to specifically entail corrupt. It's just my guy likes to watch people, right? See what they're doing, see who they're talking to, see what the police are doing, kind of thing. Which, you know, you can call pretty gray. But if I do go down a corrupt route, I will request permission from leadership. But I don't think I would. But mind you, there is a character who could come back in the server, who my character would immediately kill on sight. Like, on sight. I just have to every time I see it. So yeah, like my character, there's one character who's been in the server before, who, if they joined the server, my character would just immediately obliterate the second he could get his hands around them. Just immediately, which is really interesting, because that means it's very loose, right? Because that person isn't here, right? They left the server. So like, there's a lot of like little things that I have about that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you enjoyed the stream. We are going to call it an end here. I'm not just driving for fun. I am just trying to take a roundabout way to get to the garage here. Which, knowing it's so close to some kind of weird fucking location is annoying. Found literally accidentally. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the end of today's stream. I appreciate everyone coming in here and chilling with me for a bit for this emergency stream. I guess we're still back on track for the 50 day in a row. Also, that's a trick jump. Welcome. But yeah, I do hope you guys enjoy. There will be a stream tomorrow, of course, and there will be shorts going on the channel all through. You may see this video come up on YouTube as a just like hour video of court. Even though I'm slightly embarrassed of how poor I am at court, I still want to upload it because if you're taking the Linus Tech Tips of YouTubing, you upload whatever you got, regardless of if it's garbage or not. But yeah, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here, and until next time, see you later.